Hey YouTubers, good morning, it's Robb Moffett. Guys, today I thought we'd do something a little different. Of course, I guess we do something a little different on my channel all the time. Today we're not going to make anything, no do-it-yourself and no fixing stuff, and it's we're just going to have a little video on movies. I've got a couple videos on my channel about movies that, because they're a big part of my life. I've got one video on the worst movie I ever saw. It almost killed me, which I thought was a pretty funny video because it almost actually did kill me. You ought to watch that one. But today I thought we'd talk about what are the movies you can watch all the time and never get tired of watching. Not necessarily what are the best movies that you've ever seen, or what are movies that you think you should tell people you like because they'll think you're kind of cool because they're such an unusual movie and they've never heard of or something. But what are the movies you're stuck at home and you just turn on the videos? What are the ones you watch and you've seen over and over? And now, of course, you might have seen a movie a lot you may not like. I remember one time I was on jury duty and was waiting for 3 days to get picked, and we had to watch Vern Saves Christmas about 17 times. I think by the time, if we had gotten picked, by the time we went to jury, we might have convicted somebody to hang because we were, you see Vern Saves Christmas 17 times, you're not in a good mood. But what are the movies you've seen a lot, you like a lot? So off the top of my head, I know I'm going to regret this later because there's probably movies that I should have put on here that I like even more. I've seen more, but also probably movies that I want you to think I'm really cool. I should have mentioned because these movies are not as cool as other ones or people are mentioning. But these are the ones off the top of my head at random I picked that I've seen an awful lot, and that I really wouldn't get tired of seeing it again. So, in no particular order, the very first one is Brazil. Brazil is a science fiction movie, one of my favorites. I've mentioned other people. They never seem to like it as much as I do. I think part of it is it's such a dystopian, dark movie, and the people are in such a dark place. And when I saw that movie, I was in the same place. I mean, part of the appeal to the movie to me was the fact that he was in such a place where you had to be regulated. And I was working at a time in a company that was FDA controlled, where you had to have two people do everything. If you want to get a beaker of water and you went to the faucet, you had to go with someone and measure it, and then you had to make sure the water was coming out of a faucet that had been tested and made sure that there was no expiration date on the retest date of the water. It just, imagine making a bologna sandwich and you had two people to make it and you had to sign every step and make sure the mustard was not expired, and you only put 1.5 smears of mustard on the sandwich, not 2, not 3/4, but 1.5. It was so when I saw that movie, and there was one part where the main character answers the door and they want to get inside to fix his air conditioning, and he doesn't want them to come in, and he says, do you have a 27B/6 if you can't come in if you don't have that form? And they go crazy because they don't have this form 27B/6, and it just appealed to me on a really relatable level there. But it's just a great movie overall. I mean, there are parts where I don't understand what's happening at the very end, if he's still dreaming or if it's part of the movie. But it's probably one of the best science fictions movies I've ever seen. I would watch it again. Plus, I love the music too. The next one, talking about science fiction and love and music, the Blade Runner is the best science fiction movie I've ever seen. Not maybe, it is. It's a wonderful story. It's wonderful visuals. But one cool thing about that movie is the audio, the soundtrack, the music by Vangelis. The musical score of that movie is incredible. It's as the biggest part of the movie as anything else in the movie. It's another actor in the movie. It's amazing. You should listen to it sometime instead of just watch it. It's a great movie. The next one is The Great Escape. It's a pretty old movie, but I watched this an awful lot, and I'd watch it again. It's got Steve McQueen in that scene where he's running around on his motorcycle, and Charles Bronson, who I still miss. I thought he was a pretty cool actor. They all have one desire, is to escape out of the prison camp, and you just follow them through. It's a very simple movie, but it appeals to me. But it's a great movie, The Great Escape. I'd watch it again tomorrow. Next one, Ryan's Daughter, David Lean movie, one of my favorite directors. He made all those big, giant, extravagant movies, Lawrence of Arabia, Bridge on the River Kwai. He made Ryan's Daughter. It didn't go over too well. It was one of the last movies ever made in 70 millimeter. I would have loved to seen it on the big screen, but it's a very unusual love story set in Ireland at the time of the uprising in Ireland against the British. It was unusual in many aspects, but the scenery is just incredible. The landscape there in Ireland, and I love the story. And I'd watch it again tomorrow. It's one of my favorite movies. Next one is a comedy. It's fairly recent. It's House Bunny. I don't think it's too popular. I had never seen this. I'd never seen most of the actresses in this movie before. Like I'd never seen Anna Faris before this movie, and I thought she was incredible. She's a very funny actress. I've seen it multiple times, and each time it's just as funny. Someone said they said it's the Adam Sandler movie for women. I'm not a big fan of Adam Sandler, so that's not a compliment at all. But I thought it was very funny. The next one is Close Encounters. In my mind, it's Steven Spielberg's best movie. It's got Richard Dreyfuss, Terry Garr. What a great couple! I love Terry Garr to death, and Richard Dreyfuss. You don't get much better than him. It's probably the best Spielberg movie ever made, and Spielberg is probably one of our best directors we've ever had. It's an incredible movie, and it's still fresh. Next one is Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump is an unusual movie. In fact, I was talking to some people who do screenwriting, and they said it doesn't follow any normal narrative most Hollywood movies, and a lot of people were upset over that because they said you can't make a movie like this and have it a success, and it was a huge success. But I loved it. It's a wonderful story, and I think it's probably Tom Hanks' best movie. It's got so many wonderful scenes in it. The next one is probably one of my top favorite movies of all time, whether I'd seen it a lot or not. And I don't care what anybody else thinks about it. It's Rocky. A lot of people hate Rocky. They don't like Sylvester Stallone, and they don't like boxing movies. But it's a great love story. It's a great movie, and it's got great. I think he did a wonderful job in writing this movie. I think other filmmakers could make movies half as good as Rocky and still be good movies. It's a wonderful movie. The African Queen is probably the oldest movie here. It's older than I am, which is pretty old. And for years I had watched it. I love boats. I worked on ships, and to me, that was one of the biggest appeals. Plus, it's a great movie. And my sister went with me to see it on the big screen. It was replaying here a few years back. And I think they had colorized it or something. I forget why, but it was playing on a big screen because it was made back in the 50s. And when she saw it after she finished singing, she said, "Bob, that's a love story." I guess it is. I never thought about it from that aspect, but it's just a wonderful movie. It's a lot funnier than people imagine. One of my favorite lines from it is when the German captain says, "I think I hang you twice." He got so mad at Humphrey Bogart. And when Humphrey gets mad about her making him make a torpedo, it's a funny movie. I've actually went to see The African Queen. It's here in the Keys somewhere. I think down in Key Largo, and it's still putting around. The next movie is The Jerk with Steve Martin. I think it's probably his best movie, and it's a movie I've seen a lot because on the first ship I was ever on, it was one of the movies they got to see while we were out on the ship. We got new movies every trip, and I think I saw that movie a dozen times on that ship, and it's still one of my favorites of his. Although people don't seem to talk about it very much, but I don't know where he's made any better. I think it's his best one. Next movie is The Graduate which actually I saw last year, and it's still fresh. I think it's as fresh as something that would come out today. It's Dustin Hoffman. I think it's one of his better movies. Next one is, and the last one is, because I'm only doing a 12. I could do 20, but the Black Stallion is a kids movie, and a lot of people would not pay it much attention, but they forget that this kids movie got an Academy Award for the cinematography. It's an amazing visual movie, and the dialogue, it's basically two movies. The first half of the movie, the boy's on an island with a horse. So there's not much dialogue going on. So the film, the visual sequences have to carry the movie. The boy and the horse, that's it. So you're going to be watching this for a long time, so it's got to be interesting. So you have to have someone who's a master at that cinematography, and that's what happened. You got someone who was a master at it. The second half of the movie, it's kind of Disney, but there's nothing wrong with that. Disney made some great movies, but it's not the same as the first movie, part of the movie. But it's still quite good. It's got Mickey Rooney in it, one of his last movies, I think, and he does a pretty good job. And Terry Garr's in it, and I think I mentioned her before. She's a great actress. I love her. And I would recommend it highly. If you want a movie to watch that's something that's family friendly and be fun for the kids and for the adults, it's a very good movie. But check out the first part for the cinematography. It's from the very beginning when they open up the scene, you're looking down in the water and you don't realize what you're seeing. One part of the screen is dark and one part of the scene is white and blue, and you don't realize what you're looking at because they have the cameraman filming down on the side of the ship down into the water. Why would someone do that? But I guess the filmmaker loved that visual and they put it in the image. In fact, they opened up with it. So you know it's going to be a visually dominant film. There's also a wonderful scene where there's several people walking on the side of the ship on the walkway, and one by one they come toward the camera, and then they go into a door, and then you're left seeing the boy for the first time, who's the main person in the story. It's for if you're a filmmaker, you want to watch this movie. It's a wonderful movie. So those are my 12 off the top of my head. I've seen a lot, and I wouldn't mind seeing again. So if you can think of movies you wouldn't get tired seeing again, put them down in the comments. I'd be happy to know what you think. And I think I might dig up a copy of The Graduate. I might watch it again today, just for fun. Or, you know what? Ryan's Daughter. It's a Ryan's Daughter day. All right, guys, take care. I put on new movies. I put on new videos every week, and I hope you all come back. I got about over 500 videos now, and I got playlists on different subjects and plenty of videos on different subjects, and people I feature on my channel that I like a lot that you might want to check out. And y'all, if you like movies, come back. Oh, don't forget to check out that one I did on the movie that almost killed me. It actually almost did kill me. I'm not speaking figuratively. It almost really did kill me. And that's it. All right, guys, take care. See you later.